What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I want to talk about reward cards because I do think that they represent a little bit of a problem, just tiny bit of a problem, which is solvable, right? But I don't know what the solution is just yet. Now, you could probably consider this a follow-up to the video that I did about why I think the the unlocking for Soulbound reward cards should be 17x or whatever the team considers, because here's the thing. We win these cards and they are awesome, right? They are on par, maybe sometimes even better than the cards that you actually have to pay for in the game. And in a way that has and always will, to a certain extent, devalue the cards that you have to go out and purchase. So, just to give a quick little guidance here for folks, all these cards were like part of the meta, or a crucial part of the meta at some point. I have Beta in here. I have Untamed, right? So you can see some of these cards. I mean, Ancient Lich, Creeping Ooze, Ruler of the Seas. Again, not all of them even need to be legendary, right? So Furious Chicken, for example, Almo Cameo. These were all cards that were given out for free that now have a value associated with them, right? Robo Dragon Knight, Kraken. I mean, the list goes on and on. You name it, there's a bunch of cards. They've all been a huge part of the meta as the game has shifted and evolved over time. But here's the thing, right? So you even go to Chaos Legion now, and you can see that a lot of these cards are used. I use Countess Sinesh, Jared Scar. Even though these things are at the bottom of the barrel, they're still so powerful. And when they give you an option compared to the cards that you have to pay for, a la Rebellion in this way, it's kind of rough, man. I mean, why would you go out and buy cards when you could just continue to win them over time and then just buy select cards here and there? So, here's, I'll show you right now in terms of like the Soulbound reward cards that we have. There's a ton of them that are meta defining at the moment and probably will be for the foreseeable future, maybe even into, I guess it wouldn't be into, whenever Chaos rotates out of Rebellion, rotates out of Modern, but even still, when a lot of these cards rotate into Wild, they'll still be very powerful. And I'm looking at, for example, the cards with Martyr, right? So that was the first introduction. These cards are used all the time. Kulu Mastermind is definitely up there. Coastal Sentry, this is a common card that is probably one of my most played cards. It is one of the most dominant cards with Possibilis, better than many of the other cards out there, right? Usut, another one. All these guys with weapons training. Iziar, Idri Fire. Like, these are all cards that I use regularly. So what am I trying to get at here? The fact is that reward cards, at the end of the day, are always going to devalue the cards that you have to go out and buy. And that's something that hurts the team, right? Because the team is out there trying to sell cards and they're simultaneously designing cards that go out and are given out for free as part of the game. And then B, it hurts the game economy because at least the way that things have been designed in the past, whether you look at the DICE packs or you look at Riftwatcher packs or even this new Rebellion setup where it's a revenue share with the DAO that locks up DEC, all of those impact the economy, right? So it's hurting the economy in many ways. So again, this is how the game has been designed. I'm not calling for any like radical changes overnight, but I do think it's something that we need to think about, especially as we move forward, right? Because I hope that this Wild Season Pass is going to be enough, right? I hope it's going to be the final nail in the coffin to add value to the ecosystem. But thinking about this selfishly, right? And from my perspective, which I would expect everybody else to do, right? Well, what is it that you want out of the game? I can probably get by just earning all the Soulbound reward cards for Rebellion once that comes out. And once I see good deals on maybe some of the Rebellion reward cards, or not Rebellion reward cards, but Rebellion summoners, start sniping those, right? Maybe just get them. You don't need everything because there's replacements all over the place. So, the first thing that came to my mind as a solution, and again, I'm not posting this out there as a solution. I'm thinking to myself, how do you make the reward cards appealing and desirable without devaluing them or having them devalue the cards that need to be sold, right? Or the cards that are sold. And the first thing that came to my mind was, well, maybe there shouldn't be legendary cards, right? Like, I know, crazy, right? Maybe there shouldn't be legendary cards. Maybe it should only be, commons, rares, and epics. And maybe even you remove epics from there too, right? It's just there are a bunch of other cards that you can go get and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think a lot of people would lose that sense of jackpot feeling. They'd feel like the rewards get nerfed again. And as I said earlier, some of the most meta-defining cards in this Soulbound reward card set are the common cards. I mean, even go back to the Pelacors, right? Pelacor Conjurer, Pelacor Mercenary. Those are super meta. Pelacor Mercenary too. Pelacor Bandit's the ones that I was thinking of. But even if you do it on a rarity basis, it's not like, not all legendary cards are amazing. We've seen that, right? And at the same time, some of the common and rare cards can be just absolutely dominant, especially in certain rule sets and or maybe in general rule sets, right? Which means that they have a much wider purpose. So I don't quite know what the answer is. Like I said, I don't have a solution. I'm just trying to point out, the first step of solving a problem is to acknowledge that there is a problem. And I'm trying to call this out as a potential issue that is so deeply embedded with how the game has been designed. And so me saying that is not trying to throw shade at the Splinterlands team by any means, right? I think it's actually really cool that they've done it in this way, where it's just like you come buy cards and then you earn more cards. But as we go further and further along, I do think that there'll be many people who will look at this and say, what's the least amount that I could put in and the most that I can extract out, right? That's just the kind of personality that crypto attracts. It just is, right? And so with that being said, it's like, sure, you're always going to have that. But then even from a gaming perspective, right? For the folks that maybe they want to have these cards, but they don't want to put the money down or whatever the case, I don't know. All I'm thinking is that you need to have the cards that are for sale actually be desirable and not earnable, right? And so when you have them on par, when you have these reward cards on par with those cards, it's always your set, your sales are always going to take a hit. And like I said, that impacts the team, which we want to do well and succeed. And it impacts the game economy at this point, because it seems like a lot of these sets and deals and releases are all going to feature some kind of relationship with the DAO potentially, right? Or at least something to help the game economy. So again, I don't know what the solution is. I'm kind of just putting this out there to see if people are understanding my perspective and agreeing or disagreeing. And if you do agree, what do you think that we should do about it? I'm actually very curious to know how people think through this, right? Because I know there's going to be a subset of the folks who are, oh, we don't want the game to change. This is going to be devaluing. And fine, I get that argument, right? But we're kind of just ships in the night passing, because this to me is a fundamental issue, right? Whereas you're focused primarily on, them nerfing the rewards. I'm trying to look at this as like the longevity of the game, and nerfing rewards, unfortunately, is going to be a part of that, right? And maybe nerfing rewards is not the solution to this, right? But it has been, in many ways, nerfing rewards has been a way to reduce or stop any type of exploit. So again, as we move forward and we're trying to think through how to have a healthy symbiotic relationship between the team, the DAO, the game economy, all, overall, so that everybody benefits. This is one of the things that has come to mind lately. And to take it back, right? This is one of the reasons that I think that we should have that very high multiplier on the reward cards. Like I said, this is a little bit of a follow-up, right? Is that the only solution though? I don't know, right? I don't think so, personally. Maybe it will be, because that will help the game economy a lot if people decide to unlock. But what it doesn't solve is the fact that people can come in, earn these reward cards forever playing in Wild, right? And just continue to build their collections and be competitive, relatively overall over the long haul. And maybe that's not a bad thing, right? it's you guys are probably laughing that this is coming from me, right? Somebody who hasn't, spent much on Rebellion, for example. But I'm just trying to think through, what are the second and third, second and third quarter impacts here that are going to make their presence and make their impact felt, a year, 2 years from now, however many years from now, when people just have these such diverse collections that you don't need to buy packs, right? You don't need to buy new cards because you just keep building your collection organically. And I will settle for the counter argument, right? To try and steel man the other side. I will settle for the counter argument that maybe that is what the founders designed. And you should be able to just grow your collection extensively for the rest of your life in perpetuity, right? Granted, you'll be paying into Wild and having to get the season permit, and so therefore you'll be giving $2 a season, $4 a month in perpetuity to the game to continue building up and leveling up your deck. Maybe that's it, all right? But I just wanted to put this out there because it's been on my mind, and I want to crowdsource some of your opinions and potential solutions to it in the long run. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.